talk Davante Adams, the other big NFL story. I mean, you know who does not give a bleep about the sports calendar? The NFL. I mean, you think March is supposed to belong to March Madness, right? The hell it does. Because the Shield is coming with heat every single day. And yesterday was no exception. Davante Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders. Let me repeat that, because even though it's been a number of hours since that deal went down, I'm still having a really tough time getting my head around it. Like, when that thing hit yesterday, I was like, wait, what? Davante Adams to the Raiders. Aaron Rodgers announced that he was coming back. He signed that deal. Before the ink was even dry, his favorite receiver, arguably his favorite receiver ever, is out the door. What? I mean, there's so much to unpack there. There's the fact that it looked like the Packers were getting the band back together only to break them up a couple of days later. So it turns out last year's Last Dance really was the last dance. They signed Aaron Rodgers to come back for at least one more year, and then they send Adams to the Raiders for their first and their second. Numbers 22 and 53 overall. So the hell is going on? Like, how does any of that make sense? I know that Davante is 29, but are the 22nd and 53rd picks enough to make that worthwhile? Is 22 and 53 worthwhile enough to break up 12 and 17? And is it just me, or is there kind of a pattern here with the Packers not being able to get it quite right with their stars? They messed around with Rodgers. They traded up. They blew that first-round pick on Jordan Love. Then they spent the last 2 years locked in a feud with Rodgers. And then just as they finally make that right, and they get right, they trade away his favorite receiver. So whose idea was that? Who wanted that? How did that go down? I would say this. There's no way that Rodgers did not know that was happening, right? No way he signed that contract without knowing that something like that was going to happen or could happen. There's no way he signed that massive contract to come back and did not know that the team was going to get rid of Adams when they had the chance, right? There's no way he got blindsided by that. No way. There's no chance. There's no way they waited for him to sign that deal and then sprung that on him, right?
That's right.
World War III. There's no way. He'd have to know what they were thinking, just as he would have to know what his teammate and dude was thinking before he made that move. And if Aaron didn't know any of that, then that's on Aaron. But if he did know, why did he come back? Didn't he say that he did not want to be a part of a rebuild? So what happened? Because I thought that he was coming back for another ring. But that's not necessarily the case if you're trading away your best receiver, right? Let's get into these numbers really quickly. That's 169 targets in the regular season that just walked right out the door. 10 targets every game. Nearly a third of the passes that Rodgers threw last year went to Adams, and now all of that is gone. How many times have you heard Rodgers or Adams or any Packer player or cornerbacks around the league come on this show and talk about the chemistry that 12 and 17 had and how unstoppable it was? And now that's gone. All of that's gone. Like, I hate to say it, but it sure seems like Green Bay keeps assembling a roster that is just good enough to be just good enough. Good enough to win the worst division in football. And that's about it. So if you're serious about a Super Bowl this year, you're not going to trade the best receiver in the game to anybody at any cost, much less not for the 22nd and 53rd picks overall. If they could not get to a Super Bowl with Adams, how are they going to get there, let alone win it, without Adams? Now, the Packers would tell you they offered him as much or more than the Raiders. And if, in fact, that's the case, that's not the great explanation or excuse that they think it is. That's not an endorsement. We tried to pay him more money, but he still wanted out. Why is that? If he's playing with the quarterback of a lifetime and he loves it there and you're offering him as much or more, why the hell would he bounce? If, in fact, you did make him that offer. Why? Because he got sick of you, or he got sick of it, or he's not happy there. Either way, you did not keep one of the best players you ever had. And if you offered him the same or more and he still wanted to leave, why is that? What's going on? How did you alienate another great player? Unless maybe you're not telling the truth and you didn't make him that offer. And by the way, not a great endorsement of Jordan Love either, right? Did he see Love in practice and realize, hey, you know what? This might be the guy I've got a ball with in a couple of years. Yeah, no. Not a great look to say that we tried to pay him more, but he left to take less, if that's what that is. And then this whole thing about, yeah, well, maybe it's his lifelong dream to be a Raider. Yeah, well, then maybe it's on you to make sure that's not his dream or change that dream. It's just not good enough to throw up your hands and say, yeah, well, we got 2 picks. Yeah, the 22nd and 53rd pick.
F them picks.
F them picks is right. Especially when them picks are 22 and 53. It's not like you just got 3 high number ones for this guy. You got the 22nd pick and 53rd pick. The hell are you going to do with those picks? How does that make you closer to the Super Bowl than you were yesterday? I mean, hell, forget getting to the Super Bowl. Has anybody checked in on that receivers room of late? They don't just need playmakers. They need bodies. Warm bodies. Randall Cobb is still there, but he's about to turn 32. He had less than 40 targets last year. MVS is a free agent. ESP is gone. The rest of the market is drying up. Yeah, maybe you try and sign Odell this time around and make up for the fact that you didn't get him last year, but he is coming off a knee injury, right? What good does that do now? There are a few other receivers out there, but they're mostly guys who were better 5 years ago than they are right now. What I'm saying is, who is Aaron Rodgers going to throw to? He came back to throw to Rico Gafford? Yeah, but all hope is not lost, Packer fans, because there is this tweet from Diana Rossini, quote, I'm told once the Adams trade becomes official, Green Bay is expected to sign Rasul Douglas, per source. All right. I like him. You got that going for you, which is nice, I guess. Nice acquisition. All right, so that's Green Bay. Figure out exactly how that went down and what's going on there. What about the Raiders side of things? The AFC West side of things? I know everybody's saying that it's now an arms race, but that cliche is no longer good enough to describe what's going on in that division. This is so much bigger than an arms race. This is a space race because everybody is taking moonshots. Look at the players who have been on the move in the last 2 weeks, and then look where they ended up. The best quarterback, AFC West. The best receiver, AFC West. The best corner, AFC West. A slew of pass rushers, AFC West. The only team that has not made a huge move in that division is the one with Patrick Mahomes. The NFL is now the AFC West and everybody else. The AFC West and 7 other divisions that don't mean jack. Might be time for Roger Goodell to announce that all 4 AFC West teams make the playoffs, and then everybody else is competing for the remaining spots.